It is always a pleasure to have you join us. You're watching The Breakfast Show on TSL Nigeria TV. I'm Wana Dana.
Welcome. Today on the show, we will be discussing single motherhood. But before we go to that, the many questions people would be asking about single parenting ranges from the reasons why people become single parents, the causes, the challenges they face. Now today, we will be discussing single motherhood, circumstance or choice, because I've seen a lot of Nigerian women become single mothers for different reasons. But before that, who is a single parent? A single parent is a person who lives with a child or children without a spouse or a live-in partner. Now, the reasons why people become single parents can vary from the death of a partner to a breakup, a messy breakup, irreconcilable breakup, and also to rape cases, domestic violence, to mention but a few. But we've seen, like I said, a lot of Nigerian women become single mothers for various reasons. Today, I will be discussing single motherhood, circumstance, or choice with my amazing co-hosts, Adana and Favor. Meanwhile, my name is Faith Imai. Good morning, ladies.
Morning.
How are you all doing today?
Yeah, fine, thank you.
Okay, so we are still basking in the euphoria of Father's Day, and a lot of women, like we also came out to wish themselves a happy Father's Day, celebrating themselves because they are playing the role of both a mother and a father. And I would remember that on Monday we had a guest, a father who came out, to talk about fathers and what they do behind the scene, not coming forward to get their applaud. And well, that was an interesting one. But today, we'll be dealing solely on why women consciously become single mothers. Because I've listened to a couple of women say stuff like, I cannot pass through this world without having a child. So when they look at themselves and their biological clock and see that, okay, there is no serious man on the way, they just decide to have a baby, either by artificial insemination or date a man for a period or whatever means they want to. So what do you think are the causes of single motherhood?
Like you mentioned earlier, there are so many reasons why people become single mothers. There's divorce, a messy divorce, there domestic abuse, we have rape cases. There are a lot of them. You can also become a single mother, on your own choice if you want to, by adoption and all of that. It depends on what you want.
Okay, so
I totally agree with what both of you have said. Now, when you're talking about circumstances, you already listed some, divorce, separation, rape, and so many other reasons. By choice, aside adoption, a lot of people have been, adopting the artificial insemination method of having children, and it's just their choice to become single mothers. So, yeah.
Now, some people think choosing to become a single mother is a bad thing. From the angle of, biological clock ticking, and I must carry my own child, I must have my own seed. Now, this is not from the angle of adoption or divorce.
Okay.
Do you think it's something bad? Do you think women who decide to be single mothers are making the best decisions for themselves and for their children?
Any decision you make in life as an adult, it's best for you at that time. What is best for you? So becoming a single mother because your biological clock is ticking, I think it's the right thing to do, because nobody wants to pass through this world without having a child. That feeling of someone calling you mommy here and there, it's a very good feeling. So it's a good choice.
For you to say any decision you make as an adult is right, I totally disagree.
It's right for you at that time. At that time. It might not be right for the next person.
Yes, at that time, because we've seen people choose to become single mothers because of bad experiences. Some people had, very abusive fathers. Some people were born in very, very abusive homes, and they say, oh, I'd rather just bring up a child because I feel I'm a good person. I can take care of this child on my own, so I don't need the assistance of a man. But I feel it's also selfishness, because we've seen children actually grow up to hate their mothers for putting them in such situations. So I feel in most cases, it might be justifiable. It's like a 50-50 thing. It's justifiable for some people in most cases. And for other people, I just feel it's selfishness. Because the child you're bringing into this world, and most people, they're bringing the child into this world with a mindset of hate. They want to show the male gender that, oh, I can do this on my own. I do not need a man. I do not need a man figure to take care of my child. I can do it on my own. And if we're being honest with ourselves, we know that there are some things that women cannot just do on their own. So it's a 50-50 thing for me. For people that are doing it from a place of hate of the other gender or feeling that the other gender, they are evil, they are this, I do not agree with that. But if you're doing it because, oh, you feel you're financially capable enough and, you know, you're in a good position to take care of a child, why not? You do it, it's your life. So,
you know, when I see people make that big decision to have children as single parents, especially mothers, because we're the ones that actually conceive, I you know, think about it a whole lot, because it's not just a decision to buy a car or buy a house or acquire a property or get an education. This is a decision to bring a life,
another human being,
a human being into this world. Now, this human being is not a farm animal that you say, okay, you're rearing a chicken and you're going to eat it later. You're supposed to watch this human being grow from, you know, being a baby to becoming an adult.
Yeah.
And a lot of adults, you mentioned something about an adult making a decision and it's good for the person at the time. A lot of adults do not even know what they want.
They don't even know why they are making that decision in the first place. They don't even know
why they are even here. They're still trying to, you know, navigate their way through life. They're still trying to make decisions that will be, you know, appropriate for themselves. And all of a sudden, they wake up and say they think they want to have a baby. Now, first of all, they are not even financially capable to take care of themselves. And they now want to bring a child into the world to take care of under that same financial incapability. And you now see them playing pity party at the end of the day, saying, I have a baby or I have 2 babies and there is no, I don't have a husband, I don't have a partner, there's nobody, you know, supporting me to take care of this child, I'm doing this thing all on my own. And people start, you know, maybe they start donating money, and you hear some different associations will now come out of single mothers. And I keep asking myself, did you, you know, think about all of these things before you decided to have this baby? In the beginning, I like that in the beginning we mentioned the different factors that, you know, in the cause this single motherhood thing. We've had situations where the woman had like a divorce for several reasons, maybe because of domestic violence or whatever the case may be. People would even tell you, leave that man. And you know, when you're leaving the man, you have to take your children.
Even cases of men that choose to deny the children.
That's in a case where maybe both parties were not married, were not legally married. So maybe you just see the partner just decides to work, the man decides to work.
There are others that also abandon their wives, because see situations where people, you know, their wife will have liver twins in the hospital and the man just
run away. So we've seen different women with different stories. So no single mother story is the same. Truthfully, every single mother has a story that is different from the other person's own. But let's look at these women. Most times when I see women who, you know, suffer this part of, you know, divorce or a messy breakup, they are usually broken women because they have issues with their partner, their exes. So you see situations where they just want to do one thing right. And by doing that one thing right, they are depriving something right for that child from that child, which is the child's father. Now, the child's father must not have been nice to you, may not have been good to you, things may not have worked out. But I think in some cases, the father of this child, you know, loves that child. And you should give that child an opportunity to, you know, be with the father once in a while. What do you make of women who you transfer hate and transfer the aggression that their partner put on them to the children and stop these children from being with their fathers?
See, sometimes if you're not in a situation, you really cannot tell how you're going to behave. Not until you're in that situation, then you will know what your countenance will be and what your reactions will be. I really don't understand why women do that, because you should allow the child be close to the father. You should allow the child see the father. Even if you are the one actually single parenting that child, you should allow the child have that relationship, that bond with the father. That is, if the father chooses to want to be in the child's life. Because you never can tell. Later in life, that child may begin to hate you for what you did, for not allowing him or her to be close to the father. So it's better you let that child just have that decision of being close with the father at that time.
I've seen situations where the man is willing. He's willing to be.
They're always willing.
I feel not always, my dear, not always.
But some men are willing, you know, to be a part of the child or the children's lives. But there is something about the mother of the child that doesn't just work out well for them, because in some cases, a woman gets pregnant. She's not married to this man and she gets pregnant. And you now hear families start saying, when is he coming to see us? When is he coming to pay for your head?
Yeah.
Because they just assume that the fact that you are pregnant for this man automatically means you have to get married to this man. People don't know the circumstances surrounding that pregnancy, what happened, whether it was a one-night stand, whether it was a fling, whether both parties were drunk. They don't even want to know what happened, whether you guys had a relationship or were looking at marriage before the baby happened. So we see people who, you know, get into that situation and the man freaks out because he doesn't want to get married to this person. So he freaks out, but he wants to be a part of the child's life.
Yeah, but I don't think all women should be blamed for wanting to actually deny their children or not give access to the father of their children to the children, because, you know, in most cases, most women always know what's best for their children. Trust me. You know, in a situation where you maybe were in a relationship with somebody and then in the long run you find out that this person is not actually, you know, mentally sound enough, or is not in the right place. No, I'm not saying the person is crazy. You know, for example, there are people that are very abusive emotionally. There are people that are very abusive mentally. And this man has subjected you to such abuse. And you know that subconsciously he's going to be passing down that same form of abuse to your children. Now, you won't blame a woman that chooses to deny the man access to the children. In a situation where, the man always talks you down, he's always telling you you're not good enough, you're not doing this, and maybe the man has spent 2 or 3 days with your children, and you see the man complaining about there are people that are complaining, and they don't even understand that these people are children. You say, why didn't you do this right? And you're already spanking the child and beating up the child. Why would a woman want to grant that kind of man? If I'm in that situation, I would not, because I know I passed through that situation, and I was able to scale through as an adult. Now, the child might not be sound enough to be able to understand that you're just an abusive person and it's not really about the child, and the child might end up hating him or herself. So in that kind of situation, I don't blame the woman. But in a situation where the man is still responsible enough to want to be a part of his child's life, and you're now consciously deciding to deny the man access, then I think that's why I have a problem with the women.
Okay, so let's move forward. Yeah. So I've seen, you know, women nowadays come out to say stuff like, we can do this on our own. We don't need a man. And when it has to do with finances, I'm like, women are, you know, shattering the glass ceiling. We are just, you know, doing it. We are just securing the bag here and there. But I still feel that there is no one woman who, you know, woke up, or maybe from when she was little, when she really knew what she wanted for herself, maybe as a teenager, who decided as a teenager that I don't want a fairy tale wedding, I don't want a Prince Charming, I want to be a single mother. I think there is no woman, if there is any woman who decided from when she was little that she wants to become an adult and become a single mother, I would love to see that person and have a conversation with that person, because growing up as young girls, we always want to be a wife, of course we wanted to be a wife, have our kids, raise our children under the umbrella of, you know, one big happy family. You know, I love my husband loves me, and we love our kids, and our kids love us in return. So circumstances usually find women in situations where suddenly they become single mothers. I saw the story T-Boss put up on Father's Day, how she wrote about, you know, becoming a single mother, and how she never dreamt if someone would have told her that she would be a single mother, she would rebuke the person and stuff like that. But it happened, and she has to, you know, do her best and be the best parent she can be, and she went ahead to wish herself happy Father's Day, which we are coming to that later.
So many of them
do you think single mothers are happy as individuals? Because doing this thing alone is very tasking. Let's even forget that there are some married women who their husbands are not even involved in raising the kids. Those ones, their own stories for another day. But in a situation where you don't have your partner active in the life of your child, in raising your child in terms of finance and in terms of emotions, do you think the single women raising children are actually happy? You know, happiness is very relative. Now, there's a form of sadness that you could feel, and then you go back into your room and you hide under your pillows and you scream and shout. But then you're with your children and you find out that these people are actually a bundle of joy to my life. They are blessings, and those will make you happy. So some of them are, honestly, I am really, really proud of some women, because some of them are strong enough to actually be happy and know that this person is irresponsible for not being in my life, and I'm not going to pass down his irresponsibility on my children. So they choose to be strong enough, they choose to work hard and do things on their own. So happiness is relative. Obviously, they are humans. Maybe at the point where the child came into the picture, they were in a good place, the relationship was going very well, and they had
other plans to actually, grow with their husband or their partner and their children and form a good home, a happy home, like you said. But circumstances happened and things do not work out the way they plan. Now, everybody has to obviously move on. So the person might not be happy because that other person is not in the picture. Doesn't mean that the person is still not happy having a child and, having the opportunity to raise another human
being. The person
being.
has shared,
So happiness is very relative.
I think it depends on the factors, that the factors, the reasons why you became a single mother. Imagine a single mother that left her abusive marriage.
Exactly.
She's going to be extremely happy. For once, she's going to be free. Her mental health is going to be okay.
Exactly. And
bringing up the children in a conducive environment. So when she looks at those things, she will see the reason to be happy. That joy just comes from within, knowing that no man is going to tell you, oh, do this or do that anymore. You understand? And then you start thriving.
All right, so along the line, when the kids grow up to a certain age, I've seen women who, crave for the emotional attention of a man. And they are like, I need to, get back in a relationship. I need to maybe get married again or get married for the first time as a single mother. Let me just try this love thing and see if it's going to favor me this time. And when they get out there, some of them get lucky and find people who, find them attractive. But in some cases, especially in the kind of society we live in, we see men who come out and they state it very clearly. I cannot date or marry a single mother because I cannot even come and be taking care of another man's child. And the number of men who make these statements in our society are more than the number of men who do not, have any issues with it. Why do you think it's like that?
I want to state it for a fact that any single mom that is doing a good job is strong. And some men, honestly speaking, they don't have the level of strength that the women possess. Because for you to choose to stigmatize someone because the person has a bundle of joy in form of a child, and you say, okay, I can't get into a relationship with this person because the person already, I think it's just you being a weak human being. It's just weakness for me. So the fact that you're not even strong, it's even better for the women to stay on their own and be happy and find men that match their strength than settling for, people that are not strong, weak men. So rather be single.
For me, starting a family on your own first time, it's even difficult. It's difficult, let alone starting a family in the middle of something. I don't know how to explain it. Starting a family in the middle of a family. So you are getting married to a single mother who already has children and you're a single guy. It's going to be difficult. It's going to be twice everything you do. Twice the energy, twice the money you put in.
That's why I said you need that strength. You need the strength. If you don't have the strength, then don't even bother.
To an extent, I don't blame the guys who do not want to get married to a single mother.
And there's also this issue of the crazy ex.
So many things.
Most men are like,
and it's even worse if the single mother's mother is also a single mother. So the guy is going to think, oh, this thing is kind of coming from the lineage, So I don't know how this woman is going to behave, how maybe she's going to leave me in the long run. That's the fear of the unknown. What brought about her being divorced or not being married to the father of her children. So there are so many things the guy is going to look at.
Okay, so do you think women, single mothers, because there are different single mothers who approach different things. The ones who really want to get into a relationship do not mention that they have children. So they can, find a partner, and along the line they now say they have a child and the man, withdraws. Now I've seen other women who would state it before they even say their name. They're telling you, I have 2 boys, I have a girl, I have an 18-year-old. So you would be the one
that's
to
another
decide.
thing. Before you start dating a single mother, you have to date the children. So you have to love the children first.
You think it's okay for these women to state that they have children first?
Definitely.
Before anything?
Definitely.
All right,
it's very, very
quickly,
okay.
let's talk about the mama, the papa mantra. Father's Day, beautiful day on Sunday. A lot of fathers were celebrated and a lot of mothers celebrated themselves. Now, I understand where this thing is coming from, but I think it's interesting that we have a lot of Mother's Days, and that's enough. I think it's enough for you to celebrate yourself. Because whether you like it or not, you're a mother, except you are looking at the father's responsibility as only finance. Because a lot of people would say, I pay the school fees,
and that's the major challenge.
If the man is not contributing financially, you just assume that he's a useless person. So you now think that since you're the one paying school fees now, you're automatically
the man of the house, the man and the woman of the house.
What do you think about that?
Well, I feel people should celebrate you more than you celebrate yourself. Your works should speak for you. Now, you're coming out to celebrate yourself on Mother's Day, the many, many Mother's Day we have in a year, still coming out to celebrate yourself on Father's Day. And, in most cases, these children are still very, very young. So we need to first of all see the outcome of you celebrating yourself. Some children actually don't turn out so well, forgive me. And these mothers have celebrated themselves a couple of times. So I think we should first of all wait to see those children that they are, making a fuss about grow up and actually become something good, and those children celebrating their mothers in return. And then we know that, oh, you actually did something worth celebrating, and all your celebrations were not just word of mouth.
Fantastic.
I think that's just it for me.
We are definitely going to have a part 2 of this, because there are a lot more we are going to talk about. Probably we'll have a single mother on set, and we'll definitely have other people, contribute, people who were raised by single moms, because there's this story that people who were raised by single moms,
that's very bizarre mindset.
We'll get to clear all of that.
All right, so I'm going to wrap up the show by saying it doesn't matter how you became a single parent. What matters is you have a good mental health, you are thriving as an individual, and you're also trying to nurture your children to your best possible manner. Apart from that, you're okay. So thank you so much for watching today's episode on The Breakfast Show. Please do also follow us on all our social media platforms and subscribe to our YouTube channel, TSL Nigeria TV. Until we come your way next time, I'm Favor of Yenloba. Have a blessed day.
Stay connected to TSL Nigeria and get updates on the go all day, every day. Subscribe to our YouTube channel on TSL Nigeria Space TV and join our online family.